So this session is really about how to build a business case and the common mistakes to avoid. And what I really like about, the word business case, it really tells us about the audience that venture.ch is targeting, which is early stage startup companies. But what I'd like to point out is, so you have a business plan and you have a business case, but because you're early stage, we fully appreciate that you may not have all the elements to build a comprehensive business plan. But whether it's a business plan or a business case, I'd like to put the emphasis on the word business, because what we are evaluating is your business. We are not evaluating your technology. So the document that you're going to submit is really not a summary of your academic publications or your PhD thesis. So I really, really want to put the emphasis on the word business. The other thing is we are not looking for, perfection, and neither are we looking for 100% accuracy, because any business document evolves over time. So we want you to give it your best shot, walk us through your reasoning, because that's what we're really evaluating, is your understanding of your market, of the problem that you're trying to solve, and your thinking on how to build and create a sustainable business. So it's my great pleasure to introduce Nuniq, who are the winners of the Retail and Consumer Services Vertical 2020. So congratulations, Silvia and Carmen. So before we get going, how about one of you very briefly telling the audience what Nuniq actually does?
Okay. Well, Nuniq is the only beauty brand that delivers personalized natural products on a circular economy business model. So we want to really cut dramatically how the beauty industry is delivering today. We are consuming a lot of plastic, disposing a lot of plastic, which is almost single use, and we want to challenge that with our new service.
Okay, so transforming the beauty industry by, offering a much more sustainable packaging, if I could put it that way.
Yes.
So, many people in our audience tonight are probably where you were a year ago, where they have an idea. So, Silvia, can you tell us, after the idea, what was your first step? I mean, what do I, as an entrepreneur with an idea, where do I go? Where do I start?
Well, the first thing that we did was a lot of research. After selecting our idea and trying to put it in paper, we knew that taking advantage of an opportunity is also embracing uncertainty, because if it was something that was very obvious or that was completely risk-free, somebody else would have done it already. So we had to look and research all we could to get information that would help us see if this idea was actually going to be accepted. So first thing we did was a huge analysis of the competitor landscape, read a lot of reports about all the businesses and the market segments that are involved into our idea. Also, we tried to test our idea very early and as often as possible to get insight from consumers, from experts in the industry, thanks to venture, for example, also from a lot of mentors and jurors that have seen a lot of startups, and also what we call social listening, which is trying to extract and analyze data and market insights from customers in their social media and local and online activities.
Okay, well, I'm absolutely delighted that you said that, Silvia, because this is absolutely the right place to start. Because, market research gives us so much information. It can tell you about what trends are happening in the industry, what are the threats, what are the opportunities, who are the players, and how we're going to position ourselves in the industry. And one of the mistakes that I see startups doing is that, there are two types of market research. We have primary research, which is where you leave the building and you go out into the real world, have conversations with real people the way you did. And then we have secondary research, which you basically do from your desk. But even if startups leave the building, they often tend to speak to people that they're familiar with. They'll speak to their friends, family, or, colleagues. And those people often will tell you, yeah, this idea is great, because they really don't want to hurt your feelings. And I love the fact that you went out and spoke to potential customers, experts, and you had the mentors and jurors, obviously, from venture. But also, I recommend to the others, talk to your manufacturers, your suppliers, even the competition. It really, really will give you a lot more information than just talking to a small group of people around you. So really, congratulations, Nuniq, on not just the breadth, but also the scope of your market research. So Silvia, what advice would you give startups in terms of determining or creating their USP?
Well, in an ideal world, you are all looking at an idea that has a big market. Consumers have a lot of pain that you can solve. It's a solution that is really effective with large gross margins and that is scalable, no? But what you really want is to position yourself with something that is valuable, better, and different. That there is where we can get our advantages. But it's not as difficult as everybody would think, no? To be innovative, you don't need to invent something completely from scratch. Sometimes it's as easy as taking the combination of different values and using it in a different way. So from our experience, our advice would be to analyze very well what other people are doing, other companies, and see if you can make it better, and also try to look for inspiration in other industries. No, in our case, we saw that there were cleaning products that were already offering waterless green solutions, and nobody was doing it in the beauty industry or in the hair care segment yet. So we are doing this happen.
Okay, so you took a while to evolve your USP, even though you identified the industry that you were going to operate in, and also you borrowed from another industry. And I think it's really important that, that you do spend time identifying your USP. What makes your service or product a purple cow? What makes you stand out from the rest in the field? Because as a juror, I regularly see USPs like, well, we are the cheapest. And very often followed by, but we are the best in the market. And my question is, if you are the best, why are you the cheapest? If your market is not price sensitive, why are you actually offering it at the cheapest price? Because you actually may be leaving quite a lot of value on the table. And the other USP that I see, and the one that I really dislike, I have to be honest, is that it is easy to use. Because I have no idea what that means. I mean, I have very different capabilities to the two of you. So, if you really want to talk about easy to use, be very specific about what it was like before and what easy to use means. And will that really be a driver for your customer to actually adopt your solution? But another point about USPs is, really evaluate how easy it is for your competition to actually copy it. Because once it's copied, it's no longer your USP. And in fact, it could become a commodity on the market. So once your USP is copied, what happens to your business? And I like what you said, Carmen, as well, was, you need to evolve your USP over time. So that to keep capturing value. And I think that's really, really important. But I mean, can you share, Silvia, once you determine your USP, your industry, I mean, how did you determine or define your target market? I mean, your customers?
Yes, well, being a startup, you don't have a lot of resources and a lot of time. So you have to be very narrow when you select your target audience, because unlike large organizations, you're not going to have a lot of marketing money at the beginning. So, well, we know that with an innovative product, you in the beauty segment also, you are creating trends. And you need to talk first to the opinion makers or the trendsetters that are many times beauty editors, bloggers, or a specific group of consumers that want to differentiate themselves because they want to share some specific values with your product or your brand. So we had a lot of information. We knew that we were looking for a group of people that are very concerned about sustainability, that are first movers in the beauty segment. So we decided that we were going to direct it to the feminine sector first. And also from my experience in beauty, I knew that the millennials were the most interesting targets to approach first before we enter the so-called mainstream phase, which will come later when the vast majority of people will go for it. No? And then in terms of geography, well, we are sitting in Switzerland, so it was quite obvious for us to start our MVP here. It's also a huge opportunity because it's like a mini Europe. It's the perfect lab to try something out. It has a lot of influences from the neighboring countries like Germany, France, and Italy. So it allows you to make different assumptions. And also it's a market that it's not too sensitive to the price positioning, which is interesting for us at the beginning, because at least one of the questions was is covered, no? So we can focus really on the product and on the service. And our idea is afterwards to move to the DACH market and to the rest of Europe.
Okay, so I really like how you stratified your market, Silvia. You know, that you started from, well, looking at the world, all people that have a head of hair, and then you went to women, and then you looked at an age group, then you looked at online shoppers, and then online shoppers of sustainable products. And I think that is absolutely fantastic, because it really brings a lot of credibility, you know, to your business, but it also, from, you know, running a business perspective, it makes it more accessible, you know, rather than targeting the entire planet with people that have a head of hair. Because another mistake that we see, or this number kind of just frustrates me when I see it, is that there are 8 billion people or thereabouts on the planet, and we're going to address 10% of the market, 800 million. Well, I don't know if people do that to impress investors or the jury, but it's really, you know, unrealistic. And my question is, why not 1.8%? Why not 35%? You know, it's so when we see numbers like that, we know that there isn't a lot of substance behind it. So what you did is absolutely, you know, fantastic. So, but Carmen, can you share what were some of the blind spots that you had while working on assessing your market and putting together your marketing plan?
Well, I think the biggest surprise that we had was customer acquisition cost. We thought it was going to be much easier. I mean, you saw that everyone is moving into digital marketing, and you see, okay, we can place ads in social media and use all the elements that we have nowadays in order to reach customers digitally. But it's definitely much more harder than we thought. Luckily, we were in one of the speed mentoring sessions from Venture Competition last year, and we were very lucky to sit with one of the mentors, and she was emphasizing, as soon as she saw the draft that we were starting to have our business case, she was emphasizing a lot about unit economics. And then we were like, okay, we have no idea what is unit economic.
First time we heard that word.
So we were in the car driving back from Lausanne, and we were like, okay, we need to find out about unit economics. It seems that this is the way to go. And this is what we did. We went back home and we started to look in everything about unit economics, how to do better calculation. And it really, really helped us to shape a better calculation and numbers of our customer acquisition cost. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I mean, this is all calculation at the end. It's true, but we were much more accurate thanks to the unit economics. And at the end, the real calculation is to do an MVP and to start testing with consumers, even if it's like 10, 20 consumers, it doesn't matter. You need to see how much you need to in order to get into customers.
So in the interest of time, I'd like to perhaps ask each of you to maybe just give 1 or 2 do's or don'ts as advice in terms of creating a business case to our participants tonight. Silvia?
For a do, I would say to have a clear purpose, no, and to make sure that your company, that your vision, and that your goals are aligned with your own values and principles, and show it throughout your business case, no, to try to show the impact that you will create in your industry and in the world.
Great. And Carmen, can you share what value does venture.ch brought you, and would you recommend it to the people on the call tonight?
Yeah, absolutely. I will definitely recommend it at all. It really helped us a lot. We had an idea, and it really helped us to create a viable and scalable business case. The support is tremendous. The network is really nice. The mentors, everyone in this competition is really great, so I totally recommend it.
Well, thank you so much. And just in closing from my side, in terms of what we're looking for in your business case is be consistent. We are not looking for precision or accuracy. We want consistency. Stick to the story. Where you can, back it up with data, with some facts, and where you can't, walk us through some of the assumptions that you are making. But also make it meticulous, cross your T's, dot your I's, show us that you're proud of your business and that you're excited about it. Use pictures, use graphs, and use charts wherever you can. As much as you want to point out the opportunities to us, also point out the risks to your business. And lastly, don't underestimate the resources that you will need to actually create a sustainable business. But from my side, most importantly, take the risk, everybody, either tonight or tomorrow morning. Start working on your business case and submit it to venture.ch, because this is the one competition where there are absolutely no losers, because you get invaluable advice from my colleagues, the jurors, and you will also learn a tremendous amount and be motivated and inspired by this amazing group of people that you will come into contact with. And Carmen and Silvia, thank you so much for sharing your experience so candidly and practically to our audience tonight. And I wish both of you and Nuniq every success moving forward.